so very lucky just to have some.
All charities have suffered during the recession, but animal charities particularly so. Not only have they had to deal with a drop in donations, they've also had to cope with an increase in the number of animals coming through the doors, as families can no longer cope with the cost of keeping a pet. I'm here at the Dogs Trust in Shrewsbury to see how they've been coping during the credit crunch. Sian Griffiths has been working here for 8 years as a canine carer. She does everything from walk the dogs to train them, as well as helping potential owners find their perfect pet. She told me what had changed since the credit crunch first hit. How has the recession affected the Dogs Trust?
I'd say the main ways is people needing to rehome their dogs. A lot of people have lost their houses, having to move into rented accommodation, and a lot of landlords won't accept pets. So the majority of our phone calls we're getting is, I'm moving in a few weeks' time, I can't take the dog, I need somewhere for it to go. So that's affected people, and people aren't willing to take them on because a dog's lifespan, the amount of money you spend on them. Insurance is quite expensive as well. The premiums have gone up on pet insurance, so that's not helped as well. But the main thing has been people not being able to take their dogs into new accommodation, and the waiting list is full of people for that reason.
Among them is Buster, who arrived at the centre about 6 months ago.
He lived with a homeless guy, so he'd always lived on the streets, but the gentleman found a home, but Buster wasn't able to go with him. Not quite sure why he's still with us, because he is brilliant. He just gets overlooked, so we're just doing everything we can. He goes to Pets at Home, to the adoption centre there quite a bit, and shows himself fantastically. He just lies on the sofa all day looking cute.
With fewer people willing to adopt, there are some dogs who have been here even longer than Buster. Rocky has been here 9 months, though staff have no idea why. Harry has been here for over a year. And poor Star has been with the Trust for 5 years, as nobody can cope with her excitable nature. And how many dogs do you have here at the moment?
Probably about 150-ish, yeah, give or take, but yeah, it's usually around that mark. It's very rare we're below 100, and the maximum we've been is probably about 200 dogs. Living everywhere. Any available space, we'll find somewhere for them to go, because the alternative isn't brilliant for them. So we get through it though.
Most of the dogs at Shrewsbury come from the centre in Dublin. Ireland has a huge problem with strays and limited resources to deal with it, meaning thousands of dogs get shipped to England every month.
I'm not quite sure of the reasons myself why there's so many and why they're not able to rehome them once they get to a particular age, but we get all sorts. We'll get a van load of puppies on there and various random dogs from a litter, all sorts.
To make matters worse, donations of everything from cash to dog food have fallen as well.
It's not coming in as much. We rely on blankets and tin dog food and treats, but we have noticed we have to keep putting out appeals, and we'll just put a little thing on the table, so if someone's coming to pick their dog up, they might see, they need some tin meat, so I'll bring us a tray of meat when they come to pick the dog up. But it has dropped. We're running low on meat all the time.
Fortunately, there are still people willing to take on rescue animals, despite the economic climate. Sian told me staff make it a priority to ensure animals go to the right homes, and offer a great deal of support to ensure they don't have to come back.
Approximately probably about 20 go a week, give or take. I think people still, I think it's their only thing they can focus on with their dogs. If people are worrying about what's going on in their lives, at least their dog is always there for them. So I think a lot of people are still willing to take them on, and because we offer so much support for them as well, I think that helps.
I went to meet Diane, who is among those who have chosen to take on a rescue dog during the recession. She's also a volunteer dog walker for the retired Greyhound Trust, and that's where she met Rusty.
Because I was a volunteer and I knew I was going to rehome one, I sort of chose him. I think he chose me. They say that, the dogs choose you. Yeah.
Why did you choose to adopt a rescue dog?
I just think it's a shame because, you know, they all need homes and there's so many of them these days. And I'd never had a greyhound before, but I just thought when I started to walk them, I realised what lovely dogs they are and they make lovely pets.
The retired Greyhound Trust take care of former racing dogs, trying to find them new homes when they can no longer compete. Dogs as young as 2 can be given up or abandoned if they start to slow down. Rusty was one of them. He was found abandoned wandering the streets of Birmingham before someone took him to the trust. Would you recommend a rescue dog?
Oh yes, definitely, yeah. Yeah, my last dog was a rescue dog as well from the Mudie-Cross.
And why would you recommend?
I don't know, I think because there's so many of them, they need a home and it's easy to go and buy a pedigree or a puppy and that, and I just think they do make nice pets, especially greyhounds, but then any sort of dog really.
Not all dogs are as lucky as Rusty, however. These homeless hounds are still waiting for someone like Diane to come along.
We're quite lucky that we still are getting people wanting to rehome them, but we go through stages where it is quite quiet, so the centre will be full for a few weeks at a time. Luckily people are still taken away, but the waiting list is long, and it is quite hard having to say to people, I'm really sorry, I can't help you right now. I can give you some of the numbers to try, but I think most people are in the same situation, they're just full.
Take